So welcome back guys to We Talk Boxing, and today I'm going to be talking about a couple of fights which took place on the weekend, which the show itself was on DAZN, and these fights pretty much featured Jaron Ennis versus Karen Chukwunasian, and also as well Jesse Rodriguez versus Pedro Gudvara. Hope I said his name quite punctually correct. Probably didn't, but it's one of them. But anyhow, yeah, I'm going to be talking about two fights in this video in regards to just doing one big video. And it's mainly because I pretty much watched this fight through the highlights. And hopefully at some point soon, when the fights get released in full on YouTube, obviously I will watch the full fights as well. But both guys, in terms of Jaron Ennis and Bam Rodriguez, come out the victors in their fight. In terms of Jaron Ennis, went the distance, 12 rounds, got the decision. But in terms of Bam Rodriguez, again, he is on another level right now. He stopped his man. He knocked him out, to be precise, in the third round. And it was a sweet left hook which initially started the trouble for Gudvara. Sorry. And now obviously that put him down. He was fine to continue fighting, so he came back into the contest, was fighting against Bam. Bam put a few shots together before putting a sneaky uppercut, which literally took the head off Gudvara, and absolutely knocked him out. The referee waved it off before the count was even done. That's how much Gudvara was in trouble. And yeah, it's another spectacular knockout for Bam Rodriguez. And again, his wins of late have just been phenomenal. He obviously defeated Sonny Edwards at the back of the end of last year before taking on Estrada, beating him back in June, and then now he's obviously took on his mandatory as well in terms of Gudvara. And obviously stopping him. So he is pretty much the main man in the division. Now he's got a few options. He's obviously the main man in the 115-pound division. Does he want to maybe try and unify some of the belts? Because there are three other champions in that weight. So can he potentially entice either the WBA or WBO champion, or maybe have a unification against the mandatory IBF champion, whoever that may, it's not champion, mandatory challenger, whoever that may be. Depends on what he wants to do, really. The ball's in his court. He is the main man in at 115. If he chooses not to, then he could potentially move up to 118, or even as well 122. Obviously, 122 division's got the main man in boxing, who most consider him either number one or number two, pound for pound to date, and that is obviously Inoue, sorry. So again, he has options now in terms of taking on someone like Inoue. Be a brilliant fight, but again, there's a little bit of, he would be jumping up two weight divisions, and when you're looking at the weights 115 to 122, so it's only £7, but £7 in boxing sometimes can make the difference, because these guys do weigh in 122, but on the fight night they do weigh a lot heavier. Now in terms of Inoue, let's say he's defending for his IBF strap, then he can't weigh much heavier than what he actually weighed in because of obviously IBF rules. So that's the only good thing about the IBF sanctioning, is that if you're fighting for their belt, whatever your weight is what you have to weigh in, like just before the fight as well. So it's quite good, because most fighters look to put on weight after their weigh-in. So yeah, spectacular knockout for I should say, Bam Rodriguez, and obviously the world's his oyster at this stage, and he could choose to try and entice some of the other 115ers into the ring to try and unify. Or maybe move up weight to 118 or 122. Now, looking at the 118 division, you got a few people in that division, but no spectacular names. So he potentially could maybe just jump to 122 and take on that big, phenomenal fight in terms of Inoue. But yeah, you guys can let me know your thoughts in regards to that. What would you like him to do? I generally don't like watching the lighter weights like that, but he is very, very exciting, and he keeps you on the edge of your seat. So from my point of view, I'd watch any fights that he's in, um, because again, it's phenomenal. Same as Inoue as well. Um, he's if these two guys for a lightweight fighters, have got something special. So yeah, I'm all tuned in when these guys fight. But in terms of Jaron Ennis, on the other hand, it was a different type of fight for Ennis. This was a harder fight than the first time he fought Karen Chukanasian. Yes, it went the distance the first time, but it went the distance this time as well. But the fight was harder, and the scorecards don't reflect that. But on the night, he was eating a lot more shots from Chukanasian. And it was a case where obviously the slicker and the better punches and combinations came from Jaron Ennis, but Chukanasian at times was leaving a left or a right or an uppercut on Jaron Ennis, and he was catching him. And yes, he wasn't super hurting him, but he did hurt him on multiple occasions. So this is just something to kind of be a little bit worried about going forward, because there's certainly going to be sterner test for Jaron Ennis, depending on what he does. Obviously, if he wants to stay in the welterweight division, which he looked quite big to me in the ring, so I don't feel as if that could be an option for much longer. But anyhow, if he wants to stay in the welterweight division, then obviously in terms of like bigger and better test, I feel as if Barrios would probably give him more of a test than what Chukanasian would do, because again his movement and his little bit of a pit bull type of thing. And that's that Stanionis guy, whatever his name is, WBA champion. He's meant to be half decent. I haven't seen him fight, but he's meant to be half decent, so maybe he could probably give Ennis a little bit more of a tougher fight. And then obviously you've got up and comers as well, like Ben, who will potentially feel as if he could do something against Jaron Ennis. But yeah, a bit of a mixed performance from Jaron Ennis,
This
and
fight is
kind of disappointed a little bit, because I thought he was going to put a little bit of more of a masterclass on and maybe stop his man towards the end of the fight, but it just wasn't to be. Chukanasian, determined, very rough, staggering. He come forward, head movement, ate a lot of shots, but was happy to do that because he was happy to take a couple to try and land one or two. He must have felt kind of confident in his punch ability to try and stand there and try and mix it with Ennis, because it was a case that when Ennis was throwing, he was throwing at the same time to kind of counter and time his shots. So yeah, fair play. He will obviously be back, and he will obviously be in bigger fights, but Ennis could, as I said earlier, could either stay in that division, look to try and unify some of the titles before moving up, or just move up to the bigger fights. And as I said, he does look quite big for a 147 fighter, so I don't know how much longer he can make the weight. But yes, there's some good fights, big fights in the super welterweight division. You've obviously got the Crawford fight, got Fundora, got Madrimov, who fought really well against Crawford as well. Some decent names in that division, so let's wait and see what happens. But I think going forward, he certainly needs to tighten up on his defense. Offensively, he looks supreme. Like he's got some like brilliant shots, throws jabs and hooks from different angles, which puts people off. It's just defensively, he's too easy to hit for me. And again, when he fought David Evanesian, again he was still too easy to hit. So yeah, there's something not quite right with his defense. But time will tell if he rectifies that. But as always, these are just my thoughts in regards to the two big fights which took place on the weekend, regarding Jaron Ennis and Karen Chukanasian, and Jesse Rodriguez versus Pedro Gudvara. There were other fighters on other shows as well. In terms of, I think it was Top Rank, they had Kershawn Davis, and was it Abdullah Mason as well. So may do a video on those two as well. Those two are up and comer. They're calling out some big guys in their division, so may do a video there. But yeah, boxing's in a good, healthy place at this moment in time, and hopefully it's just going to lead into more bigger and better fights for 2025. But as always, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and please subscribe. Bless.